Hi everyone. I'll be sharing updates related to the Bevel and Bevel fabric operator. So I'll start with my introduction, a quick introduction. I'm Aditya. I'm working as a senior engineer at Walmart. I'm also the maintainer of Bevel, Bevel fabric operator, and HLF connector, which is a interface that allows you to send transactions to the Hyperledger fabric network through REST APIs or through the messages via Kafka topics. And in my free time, I post videos on YouTube, the blockchain, Fabric, Kubernetes, all of that. So I'll start with the project update for the Bevel. So Bevel is basically a tool that allows you to run Hyperledger Fabric networks on Kubernetes via certain tools like Ansible and Helm charts. And it also allows you to run or do the operations as well, like adding of a new node, then installing of a smart contract, removing a node. So all those operations can be done through the Bevel. You just have to give a YAML file and just run it against the tool, Bevel tool, and it's going to do whatever you have defined in that YAML file. And it is integrated with the GitOps using Flux. So Bevel uses Flux for GitOps. So all the operations that you are trying to do, let's say you want to spin up a node, a Bevel peer node or an order node. So what we do, we create a GitOps file and we push that to the Git repository, and then the Flux controllers, they try to pull that file from the Git repository and bring that to the Kubernetes cluster. So they try to reconcile the state what we have defined in the Git versus what is there in the cluster. And this project was built so that we can run Fabric on Kubernetes. And this was and later on we had another project, which is Bevel fabric operator. I'll talk about that in a second. So the state of the project right now, Bevel, is that it moved to the labs this last year November. It was in the incubation state, and due to lesser support or the lesser contribution, we had to move this project to the labs. The current maintainers that for this project are Alvaro, Suvajit, Sonak, and me. So we are right now maintaining up this project, and we mostly take the security issues, or if there is anything critical that needs to be fixed on the project. So those issues are what we doing on this project. And we are seeking community support for this project so that people from the community, they can jump into the issues that are there, and they can help us growing in growth of this project. The other project that I want to talk about is Bevel Operator Fabric. Now, this is the sub project of Bevel. So initially, it was an independent project, but we thought of moving this project under the Bevel itself, because the whole intent of this project was again similar to what Bevel was trying to solve, but this was specially meant for Kubernetes. So it's an operator which comes from the terminologies of Kubernetes. In Kubernetes, we have something called as operators that runs within the Kubernetes, or that they can run outside the Kubernetes, and they try to manage everything for you, right? So instead of a human operator who is continuously managing the network for you, you have something, a piece of code which is running either in Kubernetes or somewhere outside, that is managing the entire infrastructure for you without you being doing any hassle. And every resource that is being managed by this operator, this is done via something called as custom resource definition. So for every resource that you want to spin up, for example, a peer node, a ordering node, a chain code, or maybe a channels as well, you define everything through the configuration file. We call them as custom resource definitions. And once you define them, you apply that custom resource definition to the Kubernetes, and then the operator will kick in. It will try to read what you have defined, and it will try to create those resources for you. So and I just want to highlight one feature that I feel, one of the best feature that we had in operator is the certificate renewal part. So oftentimes Fabric, by default, when you use Fabrics, they have by default expiry of 1 year. So after a year, your certificate will get expired. And we solved this problem in the Bevel operator Fabric. So we have some checks placed in the operator itself, and these checks are kind of a configurable. So assume that you want to update the certificates for orders, let's say 30 days before they're approaching the expiry. So you can define those parameters, let's say 30 days or 45 days prior to the expiry. So operators continuously checking up those certificates within the cluster, and if they reaches the threshold, let's say 30 days, it is going to automatically renew the certificates, and your certificates will be still intact to be used. The current maintainers for this project is David from Kung Fu Software and me. So we are kind of actively maintaining up this project. And recently we added a support for HashiCorp Vault PKI. So right now, before this feature, this operator was supporting only Fabric CA for issuing of the certificates. So you can use Fabric CA for issuing up, for revoking the certificates, even for renewal as well. But now we have added another PKI, which is HashiCorp, which allows you to manage the certificate via HashiCorp methods. So some of the upcoming releases that we are planning for Operator, we want to support more PKIs, something Cloudflare SSL or some other certificate manager which is native to Kubernetes. So those kind of PKIs is what we are trying to support, and we are also working on the stability of this project. Yep, that's it I had. Thank you. Yes, yes. We are using Bevel for like, so we have internal platform. We call it as blockchain, Walmart blockchain platform. It's an abstraction that allows teams within the Walmart to spin up their blockchain networks through the user interface. So they just have to fill in certain details, just click on submit, and behind the scene we provision uh, blockchain networks for them. And all this is being powered by Bevel behind the scene. So we have use cases around traceability, and few of the internal use cases that are being currently solved is around invoice reconciliations.
When I worked on the Kubernetes feature for Pablo, we were using the Bevel operator. But one problem we had was, it wasn't stable, right? The APIs and Kubernetes manifest, the Kubernetes definition kept on changing,
Yes.
and yeah, we had to like leave that feature as experimental at the time. So right now, would you say is quite stable?
So I think that was the case, I think 2 to 3 years back, when lot of changes were going on, because this project was, just released to the labs, and at the time there were not much contributors or not much users of the project. So we are, stepping up the project so to be in a maintainable shape or to be used by someone else. And that time we were making a lot of changes to the code, lot of custom resource definitions that you mentioned, they were kind of getting changed. But right now it's kind of a stable, and we are always ensuring that things are backward compatible. So even if you try to use the older versions as well, they'll still be compatible with the newer operator versions.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's have one more lightning talk and we'll break and we'll come back and talk about interoperability.